Over the last 12 months, she's helped raise more than $800,000 to fight heart disease and stroke. See what's in store for this year. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Fox 43 studio. We're focused on the American Heart Association. And we're visiting with the Senior Area Director for the Waccamaw Division, Tammy Eaves. Good morning, Tammy.
Good morning, Greg.
Thanks
nice
so much for
you.
coming in on a Friday. This is very exciting.
Thank you for asking.
A lot going on. Of course, last Friday, a lot was going on with you and your daughter down at Sun Fun, all the activities down there. That was very exciting.
Yes, it was. This was the first year they had the teen portion of the Sun Fun pageant, so that was really nice to see some of the local teenagers be able to participate.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll let viewers find out on their own how Brooke did. And of course, so many things going on with the American Heart Association. It's such an exciting year, and of course, last year was so big. The Heart Ball being this year, but of course, the Horseback Ride-a-thon and the Heart Walk coming up the latter part of this year.
Yes, they're all coming up fairly soon. We're pretty excited with the walk and the ride. In fact, the ride is November 9th, and we already have about 240 paid riders.
No way.
It's the earliest we've ever had that many riders, so we are excited and don't really know what we have in store having that many people paid this early. So we're excited about it.
Yeah, Tammy, why do you think folks are signing up so early this year?
Well, last year, actually for a couple of years, we've been telling people we're almost at our maximum capacity, and pretty soon we're going to have to start a waiting list and start turning people away. And I think for the first year they actually believe us, because last year our numbers just grew tremendously. We had about 300 new riders last year. Right. Of course, if we had 300 new ones that want to participate this year, if all the old ones come back, we'll definitely be turning people away. So they listened, and they're signing up early. So we're excited, and Lakewood Campground's excited.
Absolutely. This is the 24th annual Jack Monroe Horseback Ride-a-thon.
That's correct.
A great testament. Are there other events like this on the East Coast or throughout the country for the American Heart Association? No,
this is the only one of its kind in the country for the American Heart Association. And, you know, we've actually done some research just to see if there are other horse rides on the beach. And nothing to this magnitude. There may be a few rides sporadically that have, 15, 20, 50 riders, something like that. But most beaches limit access of horses on the beach, and if they do allow horseback riding on the beach, it's in small groups.
Right.
So nobody has exactly what we have, which is wonderful for us. Not only do our beaches allow them to ride on the beach, but Lakewood Camping Resort, which is a first-class premier oceanfront campground, just basically closes their doors, to the public and allows us to just have the horses take over
from the 9th through the 13th.
So it's absolutely fantastic.
A tremendous testament to the Perry family and all the folks involved in Lakewood Camp and Resort. All the owners and the supporters there, and all the volunteers from the American Heart Association that make that their home.
That's right.
Over that amount of time.
That's correct.
It is amazing when you think about that. And of course, the county and the city of Myrtle Beach and the others. Are there other municipalities that you go through, or is it just the city of Myrtle and the county?
Just the city of Myrtle and the county.
Okay. And of course, all the folks there at Lakewood Camp and Resort. It's amazing. An event like that for folks who've never attended, Tammy, what would be an incentive for a viewer, let's say one of our viewers in Laurinburg, to come down over the weekend if they're not a horse rider?
Well, I'm glad you asked about that. We actually have people who call us each year, and they ask us questions like, when is the ride, where is it, and all that kind of thing. And we ask them, do you want to sign up? And they say, well, no, but, I've been coming down for 10 years every year when you have that ride, because it's such a beautiful sight to watch horses on the beach. There's no place that we can do this, and they bring their families. A lot of the horse participants, of course, they bring their own horse with them, but a lot of children haven't had an opportunity to ride a horse or to ride on the beach, and most of the riders are very receptive of people going up to them and asking them if they can ride for a small stretch of time on the beach. So they're very friendly, and just very encouraging to families to talk to them and to have conversations. And in fact, a few years back when Nancy Kerrigan was ice skating here at the Ice Castle Theater, she was actually out on the beach with her family, laying out on the beach because it was one of those warm days in November when all the horses came up, and she rode, and we have photographs
Is that right?
of that.
Great.
So
wow, Nancy Kerrigan out riding on one of the horses.
Yes. So you never know who you might see out on the beach.
That's right,
and
absolutely.
Everybody seems to love horses. So.
And y'all have in years past, it has grown how much over the last, let's say, 5 years, Tammy? Y'all have grown exponentially.
Yes, we certainly have. I was just looking, cleaning out some files. This is not a real slow time for us, but slower than most of our months, the month of May. And just looking back through some old files and seeing that when we had the event 4 years ago at Ocean Lakes Campground, which was our first real campground. Right. Prior to that, we were pretty much just a one-day event, not staying in what we call a real campground. But that year we had 690 riders, and that was our first year at Ocean Lakes, which was back in 2000. And of course, this being 2005, this will be our 5th year in a campground. And we don't really know exactly what this year we'll have in store, but last year we had 1,560 riders.
Wow, so more than double over that 4 to 5 year period. Right. That's tremendous.
And not only is it doubling in riders, but that also equates to more dollars raised.
Right.
In 2000, we were barely at 100,000, and this past year we raised 208,000.
Wow. That is tremendous for those dollars pumped in the American Heart Association into the Waccamaw Division, which is the Horry and Georgetown County Division. But to know that all that ramps up and eventually gets into research and into other means of support for the American Heart Association.
That's correct.
Those are great words. Of course, so many folks think about the Heart Walk, which is a great testament of the American Heart Association. What's in store for the Heart Walk this year, Tammy?
Okay. Well, the Heart Walk, of course, is the community event that everybody can participate. Almost everybody can walk, and if someone is handicapped and they can't walk, right. Of course, wheelchair accessible over at Broadway at the beach. The event is October 15th. At Broadway at the beach. We're excited about some of the things we've got going on. Of course, we're going to begin and end and do all the staging activities there in the Heroes Harbor section, which is between Margaritaville and Ripley's Aquarium. We will walk through, all of the walkers will walk through Ripley's Aquarium. So that'll be the first destination, and then they'll walk around Broadway. They've added some portions to Broadway, so it's a full mile now for just walking around one time. So we're going to create about a 3-mile walk, of which people can do the whole 3 miles or any portion that they choose to. But I think everybody will be excited that they'll all have the opportunity to walk through Ripley's Aquarium this year. Yeah. Ripley's will be distributing 1,000 T-shirts to folks that raise $25 or more. So right. That's to encourage. A lot of times last year, for example, we had over 2,000 walkers, but only about 690 of them turned in money. So if we could get all 2,000 people, to at least raise $25,
sure.
We would raise a considerable
That's 50 grand right there. Yeah, that'd be tremendous.
Yeah, and that's what we're hoping with the Ripley's incentive of the $25 T-shirts. And then, of course, the Heart Association has prizes, and one of the prizes is a T-shirt for all the walkers that raise $100.
Okay, great.
So some folks will get 2 T-shirts, and we have sponsors that are on the back of those. Of course, we have our presenting sponsor, which is the Myrtle Beach Herald.
I know those guys.
Yes, you do, and we're very excited to have Myrtle Beach Herald and locally owned and operated.com Best of the Year 2004.
Right.
As the presenting sponsor, we're looking for additional sponsors. We do have some other sponsors secured. In fact, we're up to about 36,000 right now. So
already. Great. Wow, that's tremendous, Tammy.
It is. Our sponsorship goal is 80,000, and Tony Cox, as Vice President from Burrs and Chapin, is our sponsorship chairperson this year.
Great. You also have some exciting chairs this year.
We do.
Co-chairs.
We do. We have a powerful duo of ladies, as you know. Liz Gillen and Marilyn Hatley are co-chairing the walk. And, they are really doing some incredible things in their own communities. Of course, right. Liz is in Conway at the Horry County.
Chairman of Horry County Council, yes.
And for the first year, we're going to have a team from Horry County.
Is that right?
Yeah, the county offices, county administration. So we're excited about that, to have that new team. Of course, Maryland's team from North Myrtle Beach participated last year. They raised almost $8,000 as a first-year team last year.
Wow.
So I told her they need to double that as a second-year team this year.
And I hope she's bought into it. That's great.
She told them they needed to at least raise $10,000 and definitely beat all the other municipalities, including the county. So.
Wow. I think I saw the walk this year is in honor of Philip Thompson, Horry County Sheriff, and Danny Knight, the administrator for the county.
Yes,
which is a big deal. And of course, assumably Danny and Lisa and all the folks will be pumping up the county government. Liz Gillen, pumping up county government to really get a great turnout from them.
Oh, yes, I'm sure that they will. And Paul Butler is the deputy sheriff, and he is heading up all the police enforcement. So
great.
We've got a lot of challenges going on between the municipalities this year. And
that was smart, Tammy. Yeah, that's good thinking.
Yeah, of course, we talked to Judy Rodman and Mark Crua and Tom Leith and said, you can't let North Myrtle Beach beat Myrtle Beach. So.
Not with the walk being held in Myrtle.
That's right.
Mark was with us yesterday, and we talked a little bit about that. I wish I'd known we could have ribbed him more.
Yeah.
Get them involved. That's very exciting, Tammy. And of course, last year you all had not only a great turnout, but raised some good funds.
Mm-hmm. Certainly did. We hit the 200,000 mark for the first time last year.
Wow.
Just a little over 200,000. Of course, this year we've set an aggressive goal of 225,000. And Liz and Marilyn said, I think we can do 250. So I hope we hit their goal of 250, but the American Heart Association goal is 225.
And of course, those are those goals, when people hear those kind of monies, Tammy, I mean, for our viewers, wherever they are, in the PD, Southeastern North Carolina, or right here, when they hear goals of $225,000, that sounds like a lot of money and almost impossible to reach. But you guys, every year, year after year, keep growing and growing and growing. How can you do it?
Well, it takes a lot of good leadership and a lot of great volunteers. We're very fortunate that most of our sponsors sponsor year after year. Right. Most of our walkers walk year after year. We've had walkers, this will actually be our 15th walk, and we have had walkers walk each of those years. And so that's really good, to have walkers that have walked, every single year.
Right.
And they set personal goals for themselves. And, if they raised $2,000 last year, they're at least trying to get $2,250 or $2,500 this year. They want to increase the amount of money each year. And we've been very fortunate that we've had a lot of teams that have stuck around for a long time, a lot of individuals that have stuck around for a long time, as well as sponsors. And then we continue to grow. You get good leadership like Liz Gillen and Marilyn Hatley, and they bring in some strong new teams and some strong new sponsors that you didn't have before. That certainly encourages you and helps you grow.
You have had some exciting duos, dynamic duos in the recent past with Pat Owl and Tony Cox last year, and of course Brad Dean and Graham Edwards in the recent past. Every year it seems like you all have found some great duos to be at the helm there, Tammy.
Yeah, we look to have somebody from Myrtle Beach and somebody from sort of west of the waterway, whether it be Conway or the Waccamaw area, is what we've kind of tried to do in the past, and that's worked very well for us.
Oh yeah, and of course Georgetown County is such an important part of the Waccamaw division and continues to be involved. Georgetown Memorial Hospital System's been involved every year, I guess, with the Heart Walk, and remains that way. And surely with some of the other events that you all put on during the year.
That's true. And Annette Fisher with the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce has come on our board, and she's also industry leader for the Georgetown community. So she's actively helping us secure additional teams and sponsors down in the Georgetown area. So I look for this to be a big growth year for that market this year.
That's tremendous, Tammy. And of course, let's talk a little about the Heart Ball that you all experienced back in, was it March 5th?
Actually, it was February 5th.
February 5th, excuse me. That's right, this past year. Well, share with the viewers how successful that was, if that turned out to be a big event, and where it was held, just a little bit about it for our viewers who may not have attended.
Okay. The Heart Ball was just exceptional this year. All of our events have done really well, but that event was really exceptional. We raised $315,000 gross, which was the first time we've ever grossed over $300,000 on any single event. in the Waccamaw area, and we netted $255,000. So that's a tremendous net and a tremendous growth. Our goal was $235,000, so we're excited that we surpassed that.
Right.
We had over 1,000 people in attendance, which was incredible. It's the largest event in the state of South Carolina in terms of numbers of people that actually attend. We actually did have one event that raised a little bit more money than us this year, but not much more than us. But we're still in the number 2 slot for fundraising for the state of South Carolina. And Myrtle Beach is not even the metropolitan area like Columbia and Greenville and Spartanburg and those areas, and we beat all of those in fundraising. So we're pretty excited about that.
Absolutely. So the Waccamaw Division, the Horry and Georgetown County Division, raised more money than the Charleston Division, the Columbia Division, or either of the upstate divisions.
Actually, Charleston did beat us this year. They raised about $18,000 more than us.
Oh, we're talking about the individual walk. I'm thinking about the entire division, all the events.
Right. Of all the events, that's correct.
Absolutely.
We did raise more.
You all are, I mean, the Waccamaw Division's an amazing level. If you think about that, this relatively small division, surely the smallest division in the state, generating more gross revenue or net revenue than any other office in the state on all of the events, which is a tremendous testament to the area and what you've been able to accomplish, and all the volunteers, Tammy.
Right, and the volunteers have done an incredible amount of work, and we did raise over $843,000 this year.
Oh, come on, $843,000, Tammy.
Yes, it was a big year.
That is tremendous. Again, a great testament. Where will those funds be used? How are those purposed or repurposed, and where are they purposed, Tammy?
Well, the majority of our funds, of course, go to research. And, you know, research is just incredible. All kinds of things are being done. Medications are being developed. There are procedures, heart-lung procedures. There's all kinds of new things that people read about in the newspaper all the time that have been produced from our research. A lot of people don't know that CPR is actually founded through American Heart Association research. Things like the automatic external defibrillator, which is definitely being used as a household name right now. You can actually buy one for your home now, especially if you have someone at a high risk for a heart attack. So for about $2,000 you can have a AED in your home. And then we do all kinds of educational things in the hospitals. Most of the nursing personnel as well as the doctors use our programs to educate their patients. We have cardiac rehabilitation programs where we train trainers who work in hospitals. They become certified to train American Heart Association educational materials, dietary guidelines. One of the great things that we did several years ago is work with nutritionists and get the little food labels on all the products you see in the grocery stores. When I've been with the Heart Association almost 16 years. When I first started at the Heart Association, there was nothing like that. And so people would leave the doctor's office and the doctor would say, you got to change your diet, you got to drop, 50 pounds, you got to eat heart healthy. So they would call us and say, well, what does that mean? What do I have to eat if I have to eat heart healthy? Now you go in the grocery store and you see labels that say approved by the check mark and the American Heart Association.
Little Heart Association logos on everything.
Yeah, so we were a big part in getting those things actually on the food. There are also menus in restaurants. There are several restaurants across the country actually have worked with the American Heart Association. When you do have a restaurant, we actually have nutritionists that analyze what the ingredients are in all of the menu items, and then if approved, they can actually put the little heart beside the item. That means it's heart healthy and being actually inspected, if you will, by the American Heart Association. Then we have school site programs, which is really the thing that everybody can understand and learn about is how to take care of your hearts. Most people, not all people, but most people are born with a healthy heart, and then they do things such as don't eat right, smoke, don't exercise, and then your arteries start clogging up, and when you get in your early 50s or maybe even a little older, you start having blockages and,
Sure.
and having to have things like angioplasty, open heart surgery, and things of that nature. But if everyone ate right, exercised, didn't smoke, and did all the things that we're supposed to do to keep our hearts healthy, we'd be a lot more healthier society. So we teach kids in the school system from kindergarten right up through 12th grade the importance of maintaining a healthy heart. Of course, there is a percentage of the population, usually it's around 20 to 30% of the population, that just has bad genes, and that means that grandpa had a heart attack and his grandpa had a heart attack, and maybe you do all the right things, but odds are when you get to that age that grandpa had it, you really better look out, because you're probably going to have a heart attack too. And that's where the research really comes in, to help those folks, and also to help the people who have already developed a heart problem so that they can stay alive.
Golly, Tammy, it's amazing to think about that impact that the Heart Association has on a national level, on a regional level, and on a local level every day. When we think about the impact in schools.
Right.
When we think about the impact in schools and the materials that y'all have spread out through all, I believe, all Horry County schools.
That's correct.
Tremendous impact there. Speaking of Horry County schools, the Jump Rope for Heart program kicked off again this year and had a very successful year.
Yes, they did. They raised over $120,000 in gross dollars.
Wow.
I think they netted about $106,000, and they're expected to do even more this coming year, which each year they increase as well. So we expect some big things from that program.
How exciting, Tammy. We got about 5 minutes. Let's break down the 3 events and how a viewer could get involved with each of the events. Of course, next February will be the big heart ball kicking back off at the Marriott. But maybe let's just start date-wise, whichever one's coming up closest, and highlight how a viewer could possibly be involved.
Okay. Well, the walk beginning on, the event is actually on October 15th. Right now we are developing committees. We're having kickoff meetings monthly to get new people involved. Any viewer could start a team from within their company.
Okay.
If they don't work, but they'd like to have a team and they live in a neighborhood, they could develop a team. Especially, there are a lot of neighborhoods that have walking groups. Get them involved in walking for the American Heart Association and raising a few dollars.
Right.
If you couldn't do it that way, you could form a team through your church or family and friends. There are all kinds of ways you can get involved in forming a team. If for some reason you don't want to raise money, you don't want to walk, but you do want to help the Heart Association, we have all kinds of needs for volunteers in our office.
Great.
We have every time we have a meeting, a kickoff meeting, it involves mailing out invitations, making follow-up phone calls to people, producing meeting folders that might have 10 or 12 items in each folder. These are all different things that people could do within our office, or they could come in and we could have an orientation with them, and they could do things at home.
Great.
So there's all kinds of ways they could help with that event. The day of the event, they could come out that morning as early as 6 a.m. and work to about 12 noon, just helping set up, helping register walkers, helping break things down at the end of the event. The horse ride is similar to that in the sense that, of course, you can't really participate if you don't have a horse. It's not an event where we have horses and we can supply horses, and some people do believe that it is, and it's not. But it's a great event for having volunteers. If you don't like horses, but you just want to help the American Heart Association, and for some reason you can't help us at the walk, you can still volunteer for the horse ride and do things that do not involve actually being around horses. For example, all those riders have to register when they get to the campground. There's a lot of paperwork involved in it. We give them prizes and things like that. We have to have registration open for 3 days, from Wednesday the 9th through Saturday the 12th. So lots of volunteer needs during those days, from about 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. We have all kinds of things, a karaoke contest, a horseback poker run. We're thinking of doing some other miscellaneous events that we haven't come up with all of them yet, but there will be a lot of opportunities for people to volunteer for those. Then the Heart Ball, of course, is February 25th, 2006. Again, we'll have activities that people can do in the office.
Right.
such as stuffing packets, making phone calls, things of that nature, as well as going out and getting auction items. A lot of people like to help secure auction items, helping secure sponsors, helping sell tickets. People will like to decorate. We need volunteers to work on the decorations committee and kind of do everything from plan the decorations to actually producing them the day of the event. The night of the event, we'll need lots of volunteers to work throughout the evening. And we don't really want to ask our committee members, because most of them are sponsoring the event or paying to attend, so we hate to ask them to come and work from 5 o'clock in the afternoon till 1 or 2 a.m. So
Right.
we could use volunteers to do that too, and that's a lot of fun. It's a black tie event, and even our volunteers dress up, and we'll have nice food for them to eat, and it's a lot of fun as well as work, and you can feel like you've done something to really help the American Heart Association save lives.
Absolutely. Tammy, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Definitely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Tammy Eaves coming up next. The phone number's simple, 843-626-3939. If you want to learn about the Heart Walk coming up, the 14th Annual American Heart Walk, get down this date, October 15th. It's in honor of Philip Thompson and Danny Knight. It'll be a big day, a lot of folks out. You heard Tammy talk about it, 2,000 plus folks out last year to raise more than $200,000. The goal is high this year, but you got to get that date down on the calendar, October 15th. Another big event, November 9th through the 13th, Lakewood Camp and Resort, the 24th Annual Jack Monroe Horseback Ride-a-thon. You heard Tammy talk about it, maybe the only one of its kind in the world. Only one in the world. Give them a call at 843-626-3939. And, of course, the 12th Annual American Heart Ball to be held at the Marriott, the Oceanfront Resort there at Grand Dunes. Big night, Saturday, February 25th. Get that down on your calendar. To learn more, you can call 843-626-3939.